Okay, this is a quick review, but a very comprehensive review of the Farberware Keurig coffee maker. And I really love this coffee maker. I've owned this thing for about 3 months now, and I like it so much I bought a second one for my workplace because they're very small. They have a very small footprint. This is the one thing I like about it. We'll get right to the point with this. The coffee maker, it just does a great job at everything it does. And the part I like about it the most is it is so easy to clean. It is so easy to maintain. You know, when you get a coffee maker, you always, if you use a drip coffee maker, you know how that can go. You got to keep flushing it with vinegar, and you have all that goes with that. So in this particular coffee maker, we're going to leave the cord attached. You have this little container on the back, and this comes right off. Okay, it comes off nice and easy. So you can easily take this and pour this out, rinse it out, clean it out, and do what you need to do to have a fresh cup of coffee. The cup system in here is very simple. Now I need to clean this one up because I ran some hot chocolate through it. Okay, 2 pieces. Okay, and then there's an insert piece right here. Okay, these are very, very easy to clean, very easy to maintain. And again, if you don't like nasty tasting coffee, then you're going to really love this coffee maker because of its simplicity and keeping the unit clean. So before we get into the cleaning on it, I want to show you the control panel on it. You just set the power on, but notice it doesn't work unless you have this closed. So we're not going to run any coffee through it, but immediately you see the display. You see that it wants to, by default, make a 6-ounce cup of coffee, and you can change the size of this all the way up to 14 ounces, which is great. Once you determine how much coffee you want to make, you just hit the K-cup and it'll start making coffee. If you use the coffee ground container that comes with it, which is handy if you like to do that, but I don't find it worth it to use it because some of the Keurig coffees are just so damn good. You would hit ground instead to make coffee. So ideally, if you're like me, and I know I am, I like to run everything at about 6 ounces. My wife loves about 8 ounces because, like, again, some of these coffees we get are pretty strong, they're pretty intense. 6 to 8 ounces is going to give you a fabulous tasting cup of coffee. So for cleaning it, we just use some distilled vinegar, white vinegar, nothing fancy about that. We'll try to do all this while holding the phone here, while we can do our recording of our video. So I fill it up with about a little less than 6 ounces of white vinegar. You could do 6 ounces if you want. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to flush through the system. So the important thing to note is that when you clean it, fill it with some vinegar, but make sure that you have this thing filled higher than 14 ounces because the whole cleaning cycle is going to run 14 ounces of water, 14 ounces of fluid through it. So let's go ahead and we'll add some water to it. Now it's important that you do your cleaning. I mean, for the amount of usage we get in it, we drink usually about 4 to 6 cups a day on this unit with 2 of us. I'd like to clean it about every 2 weeks. It never hurts. And you might have to clean it out sooner depending upon what kind of water source you're using. Now, I just use a pitcher of purified water here with these filters from Costco, and that's what I pour in it all the time. If you really want to do it right, get distilled water. But to do the cleaning cycle is pretty simple, and you just hold down the cleaning button and it'll go to 14 ounces and it'll start pulsating. You can see the light there, and what it'll do, it'll start trickling in intervals. So if your cup is not big enough, don't worry about it because it's only going to run water for a little while and then it stops, and then it'll run some more and then it'll stop. You will have to take this out as it goes through its cycles and just pour it somewhere like the sink and put the cup back in there until it finishes its cycle. Okay, so the unit has just finished its clean cycle. So again, what I like to do is just pull this unit off, and we'll do this with one hand. Here we go. Occasionally you'll get a little drip once in a while on the bottom, but no big deal. Take this over to the sink, and we can continue to rinse out this container to get the excess vinegar out of it because we're going to run about 8 to 10 ounces of water through it just to make sure the system is clear. Okay, so we just flushed all the vinegar through the system, and we're just going to turn the unit on, and I'm just going to go ahead and run 8 ounces of clean water in there. I did rinse out the container in the sink, get the excess vinegar out of it, and we'll just hit K-cup, and we'll just let that go. Okay, so here's one of the accessories that comes with the unit. It's basically for coffee grounds, which is really nice and kind of handy. And I was kind of impressed by that at first until I started tasting some of these Keurig coffees that are already made. And you know how it goes when you're in the morning, you just want your cup of coffee. You don't want to be goofing around with anything. So if you like using these, they work. They work very well, by the way. You just have to take out that one insert inside the coffee maker. I won't do that now while it's running. There's 2 pieces that go in there. There's the big cone that fits in, and then there's that little insert. You just have to take that out, and then you can go ahead and insert this. Again, if you want to use the grounds, that's up to you. So one thing to note, when you get this coffee maker, always check your water levels. Now this is the part I don't like, is this little line right here can be deceiving. You might think you have water in it, and you don't, because that's not where the water level is. It's actually here, up. You'll see this part right here. That's part of the housing. Make sure you have an adequate supply of water. This gets everybody all the time. And if you don't have an adequate supply of water, it will beep at you and squeal, and then it'll shut down. All right, so here's some of the other features about it. You have this little tray that you can actually hook. If you have a smaller cup, if you have a bigger cup, it all depends on what you want to do. Now this is dirty right here because I have hot chocolate dropped in there from before. But all this is, you can remove this, clean this really fast and easy. Just run it under the sink. So it's pretty handy, and I will clean that out after this video is done because that looks disgusting. But I just made it this morning. So here's the other thing I love about this unit. The part I like the most is I like coffee, I like tea, and when you want to make hot tea with this, you can do it a couple ways. You could put the tea in your little container here and run it like that, but I don't even bother with it, honestly, and I've made hundreds of cups of tea with this since I've had it. You can just take this tea bag and just push it down in there, and that little filter right there, just wedge it in there, okay? And then you can put this over top, all right? And this will make a wonderful cup of tea for you. So if you like all these exotic teas like this peppermint and these fun ones to drink when you're feeling crappy or whatever, this coffee maker does it all. And it does it all really well. So when you get done making your tea, okay, and if you look down in here, and this tea, by the way, is fantastic. It tastes really rich. It's peppermint tea, and you can see by the color of it, it's exceptional. So if you like a good strong cup of tea, use this machine and you will have that. Okay, so I'll throw this in the video just for the heck of it. The company name is Victor Allen. I can never read the label because the logo is kind of weird, but this is really, really good stuff. And I can't emphasize that enough. The French roast and the Italian roast, you will not be unhappy with it. Didn't care for the Colombian roast. I thought that was pretty foul. Their hot chocolate is exceptional. And I hate to say it, it's better than Starbucks. It's really good stuff. So the hot chocolate's excellent. The coffees are fantastic. The Italian roast, French roast, you can't go wrong. And they're cheap. And that's the thing. And that's what makes this machine so appealing, rather than the old drip maker. And for those of you who's used drip makers before, you know how that goes. You make a big pot of coffee in the morning, and half of it you pour down the drain. I did the math on it and how many cups of coffee we were drinking in a day, and I realized we were throwing out more coffee than we were using. With this, we're not throwing out anything. I mean, I have my 2 cups in the morning, and it's really rich coffee. And I run it at 6 ounces of water, and I get my fill for the morning. So again, think about it, rethink the Keurig. But if you're going to think about the Keurig style and the Keurig design, I don't even like to call them Keurig, I like to call them K-Cups because that's what they are. You might want to consider one of these. Can't go wrong. Really can't go wrong with it.